I think one of the biggest mistakes people make with LegalShield is assuming it's for everybody, because it's not, really. And I actually think understanding that makes it much easier to decide whether it's something that makes sense for you. If you're new here, my name is Dan, and on this channel I talk about real experiences, real lessons, things I've used and I've learned, and even some things I've regretted along the way. And just to be transparent, I am a LegalShield associate, but I've actually been a member even longer than I've been an associate. And honestly, I've personally kept the service for many, many years just because I've found enough value in it. I've never wanted to be without it. And I think a lot of people understand this idea. You'd rather have something in place and even not need it than need it later when it's too late. So in this video, I want to talk about who LegalShield is really a good fit for and who it probably isn't a good fit for. Because I think this is where everything really starts to come together. So let's start with who I think it does make sense for. First, I think it makes a lot of sense for people who like getting guidance before making decisions. People who are comfortable saying, let me just run this by someone real quick. Because honestly, that's where a lot of the value comes from. Not giant lawsuits, not courtroom drama, but everyday situations before they become expensive situations. Signing contracts, questions about agreements or contracts, problems with a business, issues with a landlord, questions about what your rights are, and things where you don't necessarily need full legal representation, but you just want some clarity, you want some answers about it. And I think that's one of the biggest misunderstandings people have. A lot of people think legal help is only for huge situations. But some of the most valuable legal advice happens before things become huge situations. Now, another group I think this makes sense for is small business owners. Because when you own a small business, even a small one, questions come up constantly. Contracts, customers, disputes, employees, leases, agreements, collections. And most small businesses just don't have the budget or a department for sitting around waiting to help them with legal issues. So having access to a provider law firm where you can ask questions as things come up can actually be very valuable. Another group, busy people. People who just don't want to spend hours trying to figure out who to call. Whether the attorney is reputable or whether they're even calling the right kind of attorney in the first place, because that's another thing most people don't think about. All the time, when you hire an attorney, traditionally, you're starting from scratch. You're searching online, reading reviews, trying to figure out if they're experienced, reputable, trying to figure out if they're highly rated, trying to figure out if they even handle the kind of situation you have. And that can be stressful all by itself. So with LegalShield, a lot of that work's already been done. Most of it's already been done for you. You're connected to a provider law firm with experienced attorneys, handling a wide range of legal matters, not just one or two things. And across the network, there's over 900 attorneys with an average of around 20 years of experience. That's powerful. So instead of guessing, you already have access to experienced legal guidance. Pretty cool. Honestly, that peace of mind matters more than people realize. Now, another type of person I think that this fits really well for is someone who values convenience and efficiency. Because one of the biggest excuses people have is, I just don't have time. And doing all that stuff we mentioned earlier, that's understandable, right? But now with the app, you can actually schedule a call with an attorney with all the details in there ahead of time that you want to put in and have the conversation on your schedule, because you're going to schedule an hour or a few hours to call in there, right? So trying to call a law first, explaining everything from scratch in the moment, and maybe more than one time, you can handle things much more efficiently by doing it just once. And I think that removes one of the biggest barriers that people have, time. So let's shift to the other side now. Who is LegalShield probably not for? And this is important. If you're someone who just knows you are never going to use it, you can stop the video right now, and honestly, it probably won't feel worth it to you. And I'm not saying that negatively. I'm just saying being realistic, right? Because the value comes from using the access. If you're never going to call, never going to ask questions, and just keeping it for what's a big deal, you're not going to use the app, it's probably going to feel like another monthly expense for sure. And you don't want it. Another group that it might not make sense for is people expecting to replace every possible legal situation. That's really not what it's designed for. LegalShield works best as access, guidance, prevention, and early help. Now, depending on the plan, there are trial defense hours, there can be representation for certain situations, there can be discounted rates for additional services. All of those things can be using it right through, so you're not completely on your own in more serious situations. You can use LegalShield for everything. And something else that's interesting is those trial defense hours can actually increase over time. So the longer you're a member, there is some long-term value being built in there. But if someone expects, every major lawsuit, every complex issue, every highly specialized situation to be fully covered from beginning to end, it's unrealistic. Then they will end up disappointed. And I think it's important to say that honestly. So because this works best when people understand what it is and what it isn't. Now, here's something else I've thought about. Most people already pay monthly for things they hope they never need. Health insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance, identity theft protection. All of those things, people understand protection in almost every other area of life. But legal issues that can drain you can affect almost anybody, and yet most people have absolutely no legal access at all. And I think that's part of why services like this even exist in the first place. In fact, I know it. Now, does that mean everyone should get it? No. But I do think for the right kind of person, someone proactive, someone who values guidance, someone who would actually use the access, it can create huge value. Not just financially, but emotionally too. Because sometimes just being able to ask a question and know where you stand, man, it removes a whole huge amount of stress. So really this all comes down to one question. Would you actually use it? Because if the answer is yes, there's a very good chance you'll see the value and you'll see it right away. If the answer is no, it probably won't feel worth it. And honestly, that's probably the clearest way I can explain it. Now, if you want to review the plans for yourself, I'm going to leave a link down below to my website where you can take a closer look at everything. And if you have questions, feel free to just leave a comment and I'll get to you, or reach out to me directly from my website. I'm always happy to help however I can. And I appreciate you being here today. Like I said, I post new content every Monday and Thursday, real experiences, real lessons, things I've used, things I've liked, and sometimes things I haven't liked so much. So if this helped you today at all, I'd appreciate a like, and really feel free to comment with your thoughts on your experience, and share it with someone you think could help them. Maybe they're in a situation right now where they could use some great advice. Again, thanks again for being here. Appreciate having you here, and I hope to see you in the next video. And in the meantime, just have a phenomenal day.